Good evening and welcome to What Soup is Cooking. To the multitudes watching live on Zoom and to the millions who will watch this on Facebook and YouTube, we welcome you all to a lovely little chat.
Yes.
Hello everybody. How are we doing tonight, everyone? Live studio audience.
All good.
Fine.
All good, yes.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. Grumble, mustn't grumble.
Mustn't
We don't want to hear your grumbles.
We are we've just gone back into lockdown, so that's fun, hey, isn't it?
Yep.
Or you're yeah, I was kind of being sarcastic, but that's got somewhere there.
How is everyone talking about going back into a second lockdown?
Have you even
We
come out?
stayed mostly isolated anyway.
Yeah.
It's
We were
like television, everything's a repeat.
Right. We were saying the same thing. We've not had anyone in our house, not seen. When we've gone to see my parents, it's always been in the garden and 2 meters away, just in case. And the kids, I'm betting you not even let them play in the playgrounds in the parks. So this is relatively the same consistency, but for some people, it's really a huge change again, it's really, really tough.
It's very hard not seeing the grandchildren and great grandchildren because they grow so quickly.
Yeah.
Age.
I think what's different this time as well, that we haven't got the summer months ahead of us.
No.
You've got very, very dark evenings. Some days are nice, we can get out and walk, but some days are really horrible and you can't get out. So, when we came down in lockdown in March, we had, 6 months of sunshine ahead of us. It was great.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a bit more of a challenge.
Yeah.
But we have friends who don't drive in the dark, and because the afternoons are starting much earlier, they're getting very depressed very quickly because they can't get out.
Yeah, it's really
Very
hard.
hard. Very hard.
I think it's so important to keep in touch with everybody at this time.
Our phone bill is much higher, I'm sure, or the equivalent of it.
What tips do we want to share? I mean, the world is listening. What tips do you have for people?
I think have a routine.
That's right.
A routine, keep busy, find things to do. Watch various things on Zoom.
Get regular times.
If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, there's the plug from Stella Bentley.
I think it's very important to get out. We know you're allowed to exercise, so make the most of it. Nowhere does it say exercise should be 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You can exercise for 2 hours. You're out exercising, take a walk. It's very important to get away from the four walls.
I keep saying to Marion she should go out and exercise.
All right, Marion, you and I.
All right.
Mind the slippery leaves out there, though.
Exactly.
Hi everyone, thanks for inquiring about me.
Oh,
There she is.
Good.
Nice to see you, Shira.
Lovely to see you too.
Now sit there.
sit down, grab a cup of coffee.
Sit down, yes.
Oh, make her a cup of coffee. Come on.
She's got the bottle.
Vodka.
Full of water. Undiluted water.
Oh, God.
Did anybody watch the Mizrahi just now?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Lovely.
At least I saw my grandson wishing everybody Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, Nick, did you see Bradley?
I must confess, I was getting ready for this, so I didn't get the chance to.
Now, don't make excuses.
You blinked and you missed him.
The millions watching on YouTube, I apologise.
You're forgiven.
You're the only visitors I've had for months and months and months.
Can we please caveat that was before the
Oh,
lockdown?
yes, you were here. Sorry, yes. 3 months. 2 months, yes. You were my only visitor.
Well, that Mizrahi thing, was very good. I mean, they had 380 people zoomed in on it.
Wow.
And they were all over the world. They were, yeah, it was very good. I don't remember the last one I saw from regarding Mizrahi, but
We were there.
I was expecting a bit more, actually, not certain what. But anyway, next time.
Be quiet.
Rabbi Shaw, if you're watching this.
We'll be thrilled to bits. I can't take him anywhere.
Arnold is underwhelmed at the best celebrity you could find.
Absolutely, absolutely.
There you go.
It's usually me that puts my foot in it. I'm the good one.
You know, it is interesting. I mean, the Mizrahi thing is tapping into ultimately it's the worldwide Shabbat project, which has been
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's wonderful. It's wonderful, this modern technology that everybody can be together and talk together, and it's just lovely, and it's Kal Yisrael.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this week is going to be a worldwide Shabbat project week, and granted, we're all doing it from home. And so, if you haven't seen any of the information yet, Australia.
It's wonderful. I'm seeing people I haven't seen for years.
One of the Rebbitzins in Australia said to me she can have up to 800 people in her shul. That's the limit that they've given, because COVID is quite it's
under
just,
control.
Yeah, under control.
That's under control. Yes, yes.
Yeah, over there. Hopefully by us as well.
But in Sydney, they're not encouraging you if you're over 70.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Okay.
I mean, here's all of you guys. All right, Shabbat UK has had 3-4 iterations the last few years. There's been big Shabbats. I'm just wondering, Shabbat UK aside, or maybe not Shabbat UK aside, I'm wondering, I have a question to the populace tonight. What has been your most impactful Shabbos? Now, just to preface this, in the booklets that you will have perhaps seen for the Shabbaton at home, I was asked to prepare an article of what my most impactful Shabbos has been in my life, which is why I think it's a nice question to ask everybody here. It ended up being that I couldn't write it by myself because it had to be, you know, it made more sense for it to come from myself and Shira, seeing as we spent so many Shabbos together. But yeah, I'm interested to know what people's most impactful Shabbos and why. Why is it your most impactful Shabbos? So let's hear from you guys.
Impact.
Oh, impact.
Yeah.
Impactful Shabbos. I've enjoyed watching you and your children make Havdalah.
Oh,
That's been
fans here. I'm asking genuinely. But
that was genuine. But Shabbat I haven't been watching so much. I mean, what can you watch? Friday I've always been busy and I don't watch so much.
Yeah. I'll tell you what has been good, and that is the Shabbatons we've had at Bushy Shul, where the whole weekend, you know, the Friday night and then the Shabbat with all the speakers, and sometimes they are just fantastic. You just don't want the day to end because it's been so inspiring, interesting, wonderful talks, and those Shabbatons have been really, really good.
But are you talking about the actual Shabbaton where we've been going, or the virtual one?
he's talking about pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID. Oh, fabulous! Of course, all wonderful.
Talking about Shabbat UK, yes.
Right. I agree. They're wonderful.
The first one was the most amazing one when we had the marquee up for the first time, and we had, I can't remember, 500 people for lunch or something.
That was the last one.
And we had people come along who don't normally come along on a Shabbos. But
that was our first one in Bushy, but we've had a lot in either Chigwell or Bournemouth. But
Elaine
the
will know
one in
every
the
one.
marquee was our first.
The last one was 500 people in the marquee. The first one was about 300. But they're hard work, really hard work.
No, not at all, Elaine. Easy peasy.
Yeah. Couldn't do it without the wonderful women of Bushy.
Oh, Give it up for the wonderful
I
women.
exactly the same. Yes.
Elaine?
I couldn't do it without the wonderful women in Bushy either.
Oh.
We don't want to know, Lawrence.
No. Moving
That's
swiftly
my
on.
A man after my own heart.
But seriously, getting back to the Shabbaton, if the community came together and studied together, and there was so many different, it was like a mini limud where you could go to whatever you wanted to hear, you could go to whatever talk you wanted, and yet you all came together. And it was inspiring. It was good. I think part of it was because of our rabbis, you know, or despite our rabbis. It was really good, really, really good.
Well, I've had experience now with Chigwell, with Bournemouth, and with Bushy, and they're all marvellous.
Oh.
Seriously.
What was it like in Birmingham?
We never had one in my day in Birmingham. There was no such thing as Shabbaton. Who'd ever heard of it? It's comparatively new. I left Birmingham 62 years ago, but I don't know. I think they have them now in Birmingham.
The Shabbatons have only been Shabbat UK the last 5 years, I think. Elaine, is that right?
Yeah.
2015 was the first one.
Yeah.
That was amazing, absolutely amazing. So well organised.
Oh, kudos to you, I'm sure.
But it's global, it's everywhere now, so it is wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Well, we were meeting and planning February's, but sadly that has been postponed now.
Unless you all want to come round to us, you can, you know, we're ready.
We were also going to celebrate our 50th anniversary in Bushy, but that's got to be put on hold as well.
Oh, you're on your honeymoon, Stuart. I've forgotten what our golden wedding was like.
I mean the Shaw's 50th anniversary.
Oh, I thought yours.
I've had my golden wedding as well.
Right.
And I know.
Can I know?
Beyond Bushy or beyond Bushy Shabbatons, tell us about another exotic Shabbat or the most interesting location that you've been in for Shabbat or anything.
Cape Town for us, when our son was getting married, and we went to the Shabbat morning service there. It was
amazing.
It was great. It really was lovely.
They're all dancing around the bimmer, the Shabbat. Oh, it's lovely. And the Friday night was lovely. Yeah.
Yes.
We found ourselves in America and didn't know we were in a progressive shul. We couldn't run away quick enough in case they called me up.
Which shul were you in Cape Town? Sorry, which shul in Cape Town was your bar mitzvah?
It wasn't. It was basically almost a shtibel. It was run by Aish, the people of Aish. So they had it in
something street. Something. Oh,
I mean, been to the main shuls in.
This was the blessing, you know, before the wedding. The wedding was a Sunday, and it was in.
It was in the Jewish school there.
If you give me some names of synagogues in Cape Town, I'll tell you which one.
Any amount. I was just wondering. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Academic.
Yeah.
Are you from Cape Town originally?
Funnily,
Cape Town. That's why I ask.
Yeah. Funnily enough, they asked me to speak. And being shy, of course, I did. But what the amazing thing is, and we all know this, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, was that the service and the people were like being in Bushy or Edgware or Chigwell or Birmingham. It made no difference. It was the same. The accent might have been a bit different, but the welcoming and the prayers and the songs were all familiar. So you felt at home. You didn't feel like a stranger. And that's what I found absolutely wonderful. That we were, 5,000 miles from home, and yet we could have been at home. And that's the beauty of Judaism, or our type of Judaism.
If you go to a Sephardi shul in Paris, you won't feel at home at all. You won't be able to do anything, and you won't know what's going on.
Oh, really? Okay.
Are they Jewish?
Honestly.
We actually went to a Sephardi shul and then we went to the community centre afterwards for a meal. And somebody said to us, "Don't worry," he said, "I can point you in the direction of an Ashkenazi shul tomorrow morning." At which we could follow a lot better.
And I was the opposite. I grew up in a Sephardi shul. So for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur specifically, we would daven like all the Sephardi tunes. And I think it was the year before we got married. And I went over to Nick's shul because he was davening. And I was like, this is just so random and different. And it was like, it took time for me to adjust the other way as well. It's an interesting thing how like different cultures have been brought into our prayers as well, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
What when we went for Yom Kippur in Israel, what was that? I don't know. We went to shul in Yom Kippur in Israel in a little shtibel. We had to run away. We could have been in Chinatown. We didn't know a thing.
We couldn't understand them. I don't know.
Not a single soul. I don't know what they were, but we didn't understand a word.
That was 1975. Yeah.
What part of Israel were you in at the time?
At the time, we just entertained the first group of Israel War disabled soldiers here in England. They came to Ilford, and as a reciprocation, we were invited back. And we went to, we were in Netanya, our first visit to Netanya, not to Israel, but to Netanya. And we were very near the shtibel, and we thought how wonderful to be so close for Yom Kippur, and that we could cross the road and go. But when we got there, we didn't understand a word they were saying.
Guest house.
That might have been as well, in which case.
I don't know what there was. I don't know. It wasn't Ashkenazi. It wasn't Sephardi. I don't know what they were. It was Moroccan or something in a school. It was terrible, and we just ran away. And we had our son and our daughter with us, and we just went home and we davened by ourselves on the balcony in the flat that we were using.
Wow.
It was a very strange, the strangest Yom Kippur ever. And silence everywhere.
Any good stories, Mr. Goland?
Well, I'll tell you another story, which is an embarrassing story. We were in the States. I won't say where, because you might know the rabbi there. Shabbos morning, we went to shul, and there were about 30 or 40 people in shul. Lovely shul, magnificent. And we got to the stage of the laning. And the rabbi said, before we start, I want to take you to the back of the shul to show you some photographs, which he did. And he said, we are going to build a new mikveh because we think it will bring in more Jewish people. Fine, back to the laning. So they called up the Cohen, 2,000 guineas, $2,000. Fine. The Levi was called up. He only gave $1,500. Shlishi was about $1,000. Rabbi, he called me. Oh. So I said, Matana. No. How much? He said. And I gave him a figure. And at the top of his voice, in the sword, he said, not enough. Well, have you ever felt like that? You know,
imagine.
Smaller and smaller and smaller. And I had to say to him, I'm sorry, that's what I'm giving. If you don't like it, don't take it. Now, the corollary to that was we were staying at a Jewish guest house not far away. And he was the showman. And give him his due. He came in and said, I do apologize. You are from England. And I didn't realize that you cannot claim the $1 you donate. He said, that's okay, Rabbi. So You must be careful when you go abroad. If you're going to donate, make sure it's a lot of money you're going to donate.
Yeah.
But
Can
there's
I
a most
tell you what?
fascinating shul, though.
Yeah, I
The
won't say where.
the seating and everything about it. It was in a particular place, and it's the oldest one. The oldest.
Right.
Can I tell you a really, I don't know that it's embarrassing, funny, or just odd. We were driving from New York to Miami, and Arnold had promised me that I could see the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, and I could see this and I could see that, and all we saw was the I-95, because he was frightened to get off this motorway. Anyway, I was longing. We stopped at a few places, longing to go to Charleston, but it was pouring and raining. It was the worst weather ever. And I said, just get us to Savannah. I don't want to stop because it's Friday. I've got to get there before Shabbat, because if we get stuck, and my mother will never forgive me, how will I tell anybody that had been on the road? Anyway, we eventually got to Savannah, and we stopped. We didn't know where the hotel was, and I'd always got in my bag ready the challahs and my wine, and a big white scarf that I used as a tablecloth. Anyway, we couldn't find the hotel, and it was pouring, and I was panicking. So I said, we stopped at a little petrol station, and behind this petrol, the fellow, it said, guns are not licenses are not required for guns in this area. So that scared me because it was pouring with rain. Anyway, we finally found what we thought was the hotel, and it was a police station. And I said, can we stay here for the night, please? And he said no, and directed us to where we were. So I quickly laid out the tablecloth. We made Kiddush. Next morning, we go to shul, and there's nobody there. We're knocking, and we're knocking, and we're knocking, and somebody comes to the door in a red T-shirt and a pair of jeans, and he said, and Arnold by this time had dressed up in his white shirt, his yarmulke. I'd put on a white skirt, and I was all ready for shul. And he said, what can I do for you? We said, we've come for shul. He said, but it's only 11 o'clock. We don't start till 11 o'clock in the morning or something. I don't know. Anyway, I said, but can we wait? He said, what day do you think it is? And I said, it's Shabbat. He said, it isn't, it's Friday morning. And here we were, we'd made Kiddush on Thursday night because we'd gone running to shul all dressed up on Friday morning, and it's Friday morning. But he said, while you're here, would you like to see the shul? So I said, yes, please. So we go in, and there's wonderful artifacts there, and we look around, and he said, this is the shul. And I'm looking, and I said, it's very beautiful, but why haven't you got an Israeli flag here? You've got all the flags from everywhere. He says, that's because our members don't believe in Israel.
Oh.
I said, what kind of shul have we come to, for goodness sake? So we're looking at, and suddenly a little chirpy man came with a red bow tie, and he said, he's laughing his head off, and he said, I'm the rabbi here. He said, I hear you've come to shul, you're on the wrong day. So I said, yes, we've lost it, obviously. So he said, but you're welcome to come tonight, but I have to tell you, we're not kosher. So I said, what kind of shul am I in here? And he said, I don't know what you, and it was the oldest Gothic shul in Savannah. He said, don't go there. Please don't go there, anybody. So he said, but you're very welcome to come back for dinner, but I have to tell you. So I said, no, please, thank you very much, but will you direct me to a delicatessen that is kosher and a shul that is? And we couldn't run away quick enough. And I said, and if you don't believe in Israel, we've never had such an experience. But fancy being dressed up on Friday morning. It was the biggest embarrassment. We're all dressed up for shul, and it's only Friday. That's what traveling on the I-95 for 3 weeks does to you. We lost a day. But don't ever go to the oldest synagogue in Savannah, which is the Gothic.
Wise words.
Well, the
Anyway,
plus
yeah.
side was you could get a taxi home. You didn't have to walk.
I don't hear. No, true. We walked, and having made kiddish on Thursday night, we felt so ridiculous.
Oh.
That's one of lots of silly.
We survived.
Yeah. We've got lots of silly stories like that from our travels.
Oh. Do we have any anyone else want to throw one out there before we sign off for this evening and wish everybody a Shabbat at home, Shabbat Shalom, whatever you, Shabbaton at home, Shalom, I don't know.
Let's say Shabbat Shalom.
Yes,
Bye Shalom.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can we just say, before we do say goodbye to everyone, with pleasure, please cut in after I finish speaking. The Rabbi and Elaine have organised amazing kiddush bags for everybody that are going to be outside the Rabbi's house with some really lovely information as well about Shabbat and just some talking points and some articles to read that are going to be, I don't have it either, that are going to be ready if you'd like. And if you know of any young families that would like to come and pick up like a more kid-friendly version of it, sort of
treat Shabbat party bags for the kids.
For the Shabbat. We have also made some of those for them to come and pick up from outside our house as well. So thank you first of all to Elaine for always doing it, and even for sending 3 special packages for my kids last week. They were absolutely elated. They kept saying to me, can we eat them all now? I was like, let's pace ourselves. There's quite a lot of stuff in there. Let's just have one thing now and another thing later. They were very appreciative and they really loved it. But if anyone can't get out as well, please just message us and we're very happy to try and drop something into you as well if you're not able to make it out to the rabbis.
Lovely. Well done. Thank you for that.
3 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be on Zoom for Kabbalat Shabbat. 5:40 on Saturday night, we'll be live for Havdalah, also on Zoom. We'll be on Facebook as well, but if you want to join in with the singing and all the rest of it, we'll be live on.
And I promise to be quiet. I won't open my mouth.
And I must say, I appreciate all the Zoom programs that you put on with the services. They're wonderful.
I'm glad that you appreciate them, and I mean, you know, Henry's the minion man.
Yes, but I can join in where I can't get to shul easily. Normally, at least I feel I'm much more part of it by being part of it now. I think it's wonderful.
Lovely, thank you.
It must be particularly for a lot of people who are on their own, who are zooming in as well.
I imagine so as well.
I think that's a really small blessing in disguise, actually, is that we've realised that since COVID has happened and everyone has to stay at home, there are people that are still isolating without COVID, and actually to be able to access parts of the shul via Zoom.
Exactly.
Is so important. Yeah.
And I think equally important are evenings like this when we can just talk about nothing and just feel that we've got company at home. We don't even have to make a cup of tea for anyone.
I would say to the Rabbi and the Rebbitzin, a hearty shakoyach on all your past efforts, and please God all your future efforts. Doing a great job, both of you.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
And I love seeing your children.
Here you had Liel for Havdalah. I can't believe that she was old enough to walk into Havdalah.
So funny, bless her. She was very embarrassed. She said, did you catch it on camera? I said, only Daddy, don't worry. We're only laughing.
Well, there we go. That's all we've got.
Take care. Laila Tov.
Laila Tov. Shabbat Shalom, and please God.
Shabbat Shalom. Bye, Elaine. Nice to see you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.